Hello and welcome. This is Dr. Suzanne, and today I would like to talk about why we sometimes end up with the wrong life partner. Why does that happen? I want you to know that 80% of marriages are rigged because the foundation is wrong. What do I mean? 80% of people in couples, after decades in marriage, realize that that wasn't the right choice. But they choose to stay there and manage the relationship. So I would like us to look at the reasons why this could happen and hopefully prevent it. The first issue we must understand is that men and women approach relationship differently. As human beings, we are tripartite, meaning that we have three parts: the spirit, the soul, and the body. The only part that we see is the body. The soul, we don't see it, but it's mainly guided by our intuition and what happens in our heart. The spirit, we don't necessarily see it, but we can assess what type of spirit the person is under by the actions they are taking. Now, a man is going to approach the relationship with two parts of his being: the body first, the soul second. While a woman is going to approach the relationship with two parts of her being, but with the soul first and the body second. So pay attention. What does that mean for a man? A man is going to pay attention to the body first because men are visual, and every man carries in his heart the ideal woman he would like to have in terms of the body shape, her size, her manners, maybe her hair, her nails, the way she dresses, the way she talks. Everyone is different, but that's just what it is. So a man, if he sees that those criteria, at least a lot of them are marked, then he will approach the woman. When he approaches the woman, he begins to talk to her. By talking to her, he will begin to engage his soul, because now he's trying to pay attention to what she is saying and analyzing to figure out if they can match together, if she can help him achieve some of his goals. Women approach the relationship with different tools. She will put her soul out first. How? By listening to this man who approached her, and her soul we begin through her intuition to give her signals and tell her if it's okay to be around this man. Once her soul is settled, meaning her heart, she opens up her heart, she will begin to love the man, okay? Then her body is going to open up, her womb, her breast, the way she looks at him, the way she talks to him. You need to understand that for a woman to fall in love, really fall in love with a man, she has to respect him, because her soul already told her that this is a guy who gives her peace. Because she's peaceful, she has already assessed that he can cover her. She doesn't know exactly how, but she feels peaceful. And the first thing is her safety. Is she safe around him? Is she calm around him? Is he someone who can protect her? Is he someone who can, just be there for her? That's how women fall in love, normally. But nowadays, it's not the same process, right? Because you have people who go out there and they have different agendas and they want to get something out of someone, and they completely bypass the message their souls are giving to them. right? So anything that deviates from these basic principles is going to get you into the wrong relationship. So let's look at 7 conditions that can lead you to the wrong life partner. Number 1, you pick based on a strong need that you have and you ignore everything else. Let's say, for example, you are a young girl and your desire, your end goal is to live a glamorous life. What are you going to target? You're going to target money. You're going to look for a man who can offer you the lifestyle you want because you want to ride in big cars, live in big houses, have a lazy life, or whatever you envision. That's what you are going to look for. But then once you get into that mansion, you begin to discover that, this man is a drunkard. This man has vices. This man is violent. This man is actually stingy. He doesn't give you anything for yourself. He only gives you things he can benefit from. Then you begin to ask yourself, what did I get myself into? Okay? It's because you paid attention to one criteria, which was money. And a lot of women pick men today. They actually target men for money. This is not right. It should not happen like that. You have to allow your soul to speak and to guide you. Okay? Now, for a man, let's say he says, my most important criteria is to have a girl that is virgin. Because girls out there are just too polluted. I don't want any girl from the city. And that reminds me of a story. My uncle, my mother's younger brother, he was much younger than her. Like, there were decades of difference between them. So he was living with us, right, in the boys' quarter at home. When my mother and my grandmother decided that it was time for him to get married, they decided to go to the village to get him a girl that was virgin. They went there, talked to the parents, all that, and they brought the girl back to the city. My uncle said, okay, no problems. And she was living with him in the boys' quarters. She was coming in the morning to the main house, help us with whatever, get ready in the morning and blah, blah, blah. She was a teenager. I remember she was maybe 15 or maximum 17 years old. Very naive, very shy, very always hiding. Typical girl from the village. Her hair was very basic, her clothes very basic. But after a few years, the transformation was striking. Her hairstyle was different, her clothing were different. She started changing the skin color, blah, 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 blah. So my mom called her and said, hey, madam, what is happening? She was talking back to my mom, telling her, you don't have to tell me what to do, blah, blah, blah. Before you know it, she started having extramarital relationships. She was so stubborn and so rebellious towards my uncle that I learned and I understood that it's not because you find a virgin girl that her soul is going to remain virgin, okay? Sometimes you don't pay attention to the real soul of the person and you just assess that, oh, she's a little girl and I'm going to manage her. Be careful. Number 2, you ignore all the red flags and hope the person will change. So you are in courtship and you see that the person is violent. You see that the person doesn't provide emotional support. You see that the person is disrespectful or he does things that break your boundaries. And you think that, I can manage. No, you cannot manage. At some point, you're going to break this relationship. Number 3, you have the pressure of family and friends, especially mothers. Mothers and their daughters, when you get to a certain age, let's say 24 years old, she's on your back. She's on your back. She wants to see a husband. She wants to see children. She wants to, sometimes you just agree with the man just because you want to appease your mother. Okay, and that's a mistake. I'm telling you, that is a mistake. Number 4, when you're running against time. Women have a biological clock for what people think. After 30, begin to stress out and they want to have a husband. And sometimes you just pick whoever is available, and that will get you into the wrong relationship. Number 5, you are clearly unequally yoked. You don't have the same spiritual beliefs. That's a problem. Number 6, no chemistry at all. I remember when I was in med school, there was one of my colleagues who was talking to me. He wanted to be close to me. But I had already seen that there's no chemistry between us. You know, because the way you think, the way you do things, you can already see who can match with you. This guy did not understand why a girl had to be refined or elegant, why you had to spend money to get your nails done or have your, I had my little place. It was nicely decorated. He didn't understand that. And I was like, and you want me to be your future wife? In which movie? You understand? So pay attention to the chemistry. And finally, number 7, love spells. Anyone who does a love spell in you is acting in treachery. Women are victims of love spells a lot. And once your eyes open, you don't want to see that person anymore. And in fact, you will never give them another chance to be with you, because a love spell is a spiritual manipulation. If you've not watched my video on love spells, look for it and you will learn more about what actually happens when someone subdues your spirit to force you into a relationship. It's really bad. Okay? Well, thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.